Tech Talk. Tech Talk. Tech Talk. You want to start a podcast. You want to make a podcast. You're thinking about doing a podcast. You in luck. We're going to talk about that real quick. Thanks for everybody who's been tuning in. Thanks to everybody who's been watching the podcast. I appreciate that. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Let me know what you think. And we finna get right into it. So, what is some of the equipment that you need just to start? You don't need the high-end stuff. You don't need the most expensive stuff. From my trial and error, learn from my trial and error, you don't need it. Because you have to learn the foundation of how to record, how to produce it, how to post it, how to navigate your challenges, all of that. Because if you buy the high end stuff, it's like buying a Ferrari and you don't know how to drive it. You never drove a manual shift before. You never drove a paddle shifter on your steering wheel, but you want to buy this high end car for what? So, my advice to you is get the equipment you need just to start so you can get used to doing it first. And then as you scale, you can buy the other things. So the minimum you need to get started, just to start, cell phone or camera. If you have a newer cell phone, iPhone, Android phone that's been out the past 2 or 3 years, you can use that as making your content to record it. Some of them got good mics. If you don't have a microphone, you have it close enough to you. You can record and not have to worry. You can have number one and number two all in one. And if you find a deal on a camera or you got one laying around, you can use a camera. A little bit more layers added that you got to learn than just having using a phone and a tripod. So it's a little bit more to it with a camera than it is with a cell phone. And if you just want to get started, you're not really into tech like that, a cell phone and a tripod, one of the most simplest ways to do it. Just like how that cell phone is, you can turn it horizontally. I'll show you my cell phone. You can turn it horizontally or you can turn it landscape. Wait a minute. Yeah, landscape or horizontal, one of the two. You can do one of the two. Get you a tripod and it can hold it up for you. Record with the front facing camera, like here, front facing camera, or record with the rear camera, whichever one you're comfortable with. But you have a tool to record with if you got a newer cell phone. Camera. You have to have a camera and you have to have a memory card. And then there are a slew of other things you got to have. But at least camera and memory card. With a cell phone, the cell phone has the memory built into it. And you just record to it, and when you're done, you can delete it. Next step, number 2, microphone. You can either have a wired microphone, they call it XLR in the audio world, or you can have a wireless option. If you're not into spending money on to have a high production, I would recommend just starting out with a wireless microphone. It won't bother you. You won't know the difference. Don't fall for the people that be on YouTube saying you got to have the highest quality audio. Everybody can't afford that. Everybody has a budget based on your circumstance. I would tell you just to start out to learn how to do it. You can go to Five Below And that wireless microphone right there with the little fuzzy things on it, that's called a windscreen. You can buy that for $5, if not less. You can put that USB-C receiver into your phone at the bottom of your phone. You can put it at the bottom of your phone right here, and then get the other one and clip it to your shirt. And now you have a cell phone now, either way, and then you have a wireless mic now. You got step one and step two. Step three, topics. Now, this depends on where you are in life, right? Some people like to do like tutorials. Some people talk about life. Some people talk about politics. The thing about topics is you have to be careful. If you work in the corporate world, depending on where you work, you have to be careful about the topics that you pick. It's not about being scared. It's not about being weak. It's about being strategic in what you're doing. You do not want to mess up your livelihood and crash out on something that you're not making money off of. So choose your topics wisely, right? Choose your topics wisely. After you get step one figured out, after you get step two figured out, be strategic on step three, picking your topics. Because there are people, and people are doing it all the time. You can say one thing, talk about the wrong thing, and you go to work and you can lose your job because you don't realize that when you work at a company, they have a brand. And with you working for them, you don't realize you actually represent their brand. And if you say the wrong thing that could damage their brand, they can release you from your job, whether you like it or not. It's reality. So be strategic in choosing. And I want to show you something real quick. Let me show you this real quick before we go to the next one. So let's say you go to Amazon. What kind of microphone? You go to Amazon. They got a wireless microphone right there, $23. Another one for $27. Look at that for $19 right there. Mini Mic Pro for $19. Can't beat that. USB C, and it has two mics. Now, not only can you record yourself, you can record another person. You can have a podcast with two people. XLR. You see, wireless mics, four of them now. Is that a good brand? I'm not going to tell you it is because it's $159. Usually the cheapest is not the best, but you got to start from somewhere before you get into the more expensive. Look at that. Lapel mics, $349. It gives you a big receiver. All of them go to the same receiver. Here's the deal. You still have to run this into a mixer. You might ask, what is a mixer? I'm going to show you next. When you start getting into this tier, 79, you start to get a little bit more better quality. DJI, that's a good name. They have a package where it's wireless. They're small. You clip it to your shirt or use it with a camera. Most people use this with a camera probably. Some of you can use with your cell phone, but it's a better quality mic. But you don't have to start there because they could be pretty expensive. Here you see two wireless condenser microphones with a USB receiver or audio jack receiver. How much those cost? $89. You got one that's 49. It's a lot of stuff on Amazon. Don't get overwhelmed by it. Know what your budget is. And if you get some of this stuff, be prepared to learn. So you might ask, what is a mixer? Let's look it up. I'm going to show you. Audio mixer. There's a lot of audio mixers, but what I would recommend is something like if you don't want the digital stuff where you have to learn a lot, I would recommend something like this Yamaha to start out with right here. I would recommend something like this. Um, in my opinion, I would recommend something like that. Or if you're just at a desktop, they have some smaller ones that's like USB powered. If they even have, they call them audio interfaces. That's what they call. Here's a smaller one right here. I don't know the name brand, but it's pretty simple to use. It's only 2 mics, $39. It fits on the desk. It's really small, and I'll show you an audio interface. Those are really small, easy to use. This is what you call an audio interface. This one's just for 1 mic. This one's for 2 mics, and they just sit on your desk. You plug your mic into it, the amp, everything's built into it, and it runs to your computer through USB, and gives you it's a little bit more simpler setup without all the it takes up a lot of room on your desk. So I don't know who this company is, but it's $56. I think Focusrite is one of the most highly recommended, something like that. But guess what? If you don't have the budget for it, you have to do what you got to do. They do the same thing, it's just higher quality parts, and they charge you more for it. But with this, you would get. Let me bring up the mics real quick. You would get a mic like this black one right here, XLR cable. Plug it into here, one of these jacks, and then you got those different adjustments. You have the gain, you have the input, you have the output, and you have headphones. You can monitor your audio. There are many options out there to go with. But don't overwhelm yourself. Just stick to the basics and learn as you go and scale. Because the more you scale, the more you're going to have to learn. The simplest way before we move on to the next one is just use a cell phone. If you want to use a mic, get one of these wireless mics with the fuzzy. You can go to, like, say, $5, Five Below, and get it probably for less than what you can get on Amazon. The next topic is learning production. You record it on your phone or you record it on the camera, your memory card. Now, this is where the learning really started to come in at. Are you tech savvy? Or are you not? You have to be honest with yourself, because if you're not, this is where you will be challenged at. So you have to be honest with yourself. What kind of software are you going to use? You're going to do it on your mobile phone? You're going to do it on a computer? You got to get some kind of software, whether it's Premiere Pro, whether it's CapCut. Instagram Edits has a pretty good one now. And you have to pick something or be multifaceted at different ones. I would say, man, just get comfortable. Is the best way is to use it on a computer. And then the secondary way is learn how to do it on the cell phone for shorter content. But long form content, you definitely want to do it on a computer. You don't want to, unless you're good at it. Some people good at doing it on a mobile device, but I would definitely recommend, if you're just starting out, if you're doing short form, like, reels and minute reels and stuff like that, you could definitely do it on the cell phone and get it out real quick. But if you're doing long form stuff, I would definitely recommend getting a computer with at least 32 gigs of RAM. And like I said, I can make a video just on that, but I'm not gonna really fluff a lot of time up right now talking about that. But just know that it takes some software. You got to learn. It's a learning curve. It's not just that easy. Editing. You have to edit unless you're good at one take. One take means you just record it. You like what you see and you post it. But you may have to edit. You might have to cut some stuff out. Cut out the filler words, depending on how emotional you are about it. I'm not that emotional. I'm more of a logical thinking person. I may cut out the beginning, cut out the end, cut some time off. Sometimes you have to cut it shorter. Sometimes you have to make it longer, depending on which platform. Editing is something you have to learn, and you're gonna have to keep learning it. It's not you will never get to the point where you're just everything, because they always come out with updates, always come out with transitions. It's a lot of things when you're editing. It takes time to really get good at editing, and you have to really sit down and do it, whether on mobile, whether on a computer. And in my opinion, that's why you see a lot of shorter form content, because less time to edit. In my opinion, less time to edit, because editing, it can be a task. You really have to love editing, or you ain't gonna want to do it. Posting. You have many platforms. You have Facebook, you have Twitter or X, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, all kind of stuff you can post on. What I will say is find what works for you. Everybody don't post on all of them. Some people do. You can find out ways that if you post on Instagram, it'll post on Facebook as well. Find out ways, a workflow that works for you. The thing with editing is what makes it tough is you have to love it, is because when you make a podcast, a long form podcast, you have to edit it down to make clips out of it. You want to make a reel out of it, but if you got an hour worth of content, you have to go through it and find the things you want to make clips out of in order to kind of draw people to what you're making. That's editing. Um, Another thing with posting, some people try to do it on a schedule, whether it's in the morning, in the afternoon, or in the evening. You have to find what works for you. Um, I know for me, I just do it when I can, because I know that I got other stuff going on. So I don't try to keep up with the Joneses in this stuff, because it's a lot of people, they have a team of people working for them. You have to keep this in mind when you watching this stuff on social media. Some of these people have a team of people doing stuff. It's not just one person. But when you just one person doing it, it's different, because now you're recording it, you got to edit it, then you have to post it. It's a lot of work. It's not easy as you think it is. So let's go to the next one. Are you ready to make a podcast? After you do, find out the steps, what you need to start. You learn the production. You got to be honest with yourself again and ask, am I ready to start a podcast? I will tell you is there's never a perfect time. There's never a perfect time. You have to just take the first step and do it. Record it. You don't have to post it yet. Just record yourself talking. Record it. Listen to yourself. See what you think. And if you feel confident about it, post it. That's the second one. Look at it. How do you like yourself? Some people don't like listening back to themselves. I used to be that way too, because I used to be a total introvert. But when I started making content, I just go back and listen to myself. See how I talk. It's different because you're trying to get to that place to where you naturally talk on camera like you do in real life. It's not that easy. That's why you have to keep practicing and doing it. And I give you a nugget for that at the end if you keep watching. Don't be afraid to be yourself. Be who you are. Don't try to be somebody else. That's just my opinion. Just be who you are. Don't try to be somebody else. Like I'm not gonna be somebody else. I have to be Mike. Growing up, I grew up at. You really have to be original. You can't just take something from somebody else. You have to be yourself. And guess what? You have to be comfortable with that may not be popular with everybody. You have to be okay with that. Just like in real life. Everybody won't like you, but that's fine. I'm okay with that. I know everybody not gonna like. You'll never get 100% participation. And one thing we'll talk about that in the next one. Yeah, we'll talk about that in the next one. The challenge of making content. The challenge. The challenge of making content. The setup. Figuring out your setup. Do you have multiple setups? Do you have one setup? Um, Everybody don't have a studio. I know I don't. Would love to have one, but guess what? That costs money. You're gonna find out a lot of things cost that you want to do when you want to make content. It's not as easy as they make it look on social media. Hey, if you do these things, you'll be great. It don't work that way. You gotta have a budget. You gotta know what your budget is. You gotta know what you need. Luckily for me, I work in IT, so I know what I need. And if I need to scale up and get some, I know either I can pay full price for it or I know where to go to find it at a lower price and negotiate because I know exactly what I'm looking for. I know what I need. And I know that if I don't want to pay full price for it, where do I find it on to get a negotiated price? If you want to start content and you want to scale up, I would tell you to go look at Facebook Marketplace. Matter of fact, let's look it up now. I can show you this right now. I'm gonna show you right now. We talking about setup. Let's see. I have to almost guard myself from being on Facebook too much because it can get addictive. But I'm gonna show you. Let's type Sony camera. So, me being a tech guy, I understand how stuff work, electronics and all this stuff, right? Instead of paying full price for a Sony ZV-1F, I can go buy this from this person, and I could probably negotiate with him because they're trying to sell it. He wants $380 for it. What if you could talk him down to like $200, dollars for it, cash? And on Facebook Marketplace, let you know cash rules. Cash rules, man. And if you got the cash, you never know. You probably can get this at a lower price than what he's saying. He want $380 for it. That don't mean he gonna get it. Cause in this time that we living in now, the economy's pretty tough. Matter of fact, let me save that because I'm gonna have to look into that. But the economy's pretty tough. Let's look at microphone. So this is a wireless microphone, a DJI for $80. We just seen it on Amazon. It was more than that. Like I said, you could build almost a whole setup. Look at this wireless microphone. They use these at churches for $280. Two wireless microphones. Yep, Shure XL, SL X24. These are high end mic for $280. You could buy two of those, get you a mixer, and you got a high quality sound setup right off the rip. What else you need? Look at this. A Rodecaster, $600. Where is this located at? Little Rock. You probably could talk them down. He wants 600 for it, but that don't mean he gonna get it. You probably could talk him down. What if you don't need the mic? You just said, I just need the Rodecaster. And with these, they're portable. You can record outside if you wanted to and have a good high quality sound. Look at that. I was telling you about the USB-C mics. They want 15 for it. I promise you can go to Five Below and get it for cheaper than that. So what am I saying here? There are many ways to build a setup. Don't feel afraid. You just gotta know where your budget is, and you gotta be strategic about what you're doing. Consistency, number 2. Being consistent. That's the hardest part about making content, in my opinion, is being consistent. Are you gonna do it once a week, twice a week? And watch this. Even if things are crazy, can you still do it once a week? Being consistent. I gotta thank my family. I gotta thank my wife and kids because they support me coming back here making content. It's not easy being consistent because some things you have to make room for. It's a balancing act. Life is a balancing act. To be consistent in other things, it's a balancing act. I thank my family for allowing me. Ashley, Mike, Naomi, thank you for allowing me to make content. It's almost like my therapy. But being consistent is tough. It challenges you. When that day of the week comes, stuff is happening. Stuff need to be fixed. You're not feeling good. You're a little sleepy. You're tired. I've made a lot of content that my energy level was crazy, but I still had to make it because I had to be consistent. I have been challenged this semester of being consistent because of taking graduate classes and the horsepower I need in my brain to do this homework. I had to kind of cut back on how much the frequency I was recording because I had to do my homework, the priorities. But if you are just making content and working, how consistent can you be? Ask yourself that. You got to be honest with yourself. Number 3, patience and growth.
It's cool when they do it. It's a problem when I do it.
Patience and growth.
It's cool when they do it. It's a problem when I do it.
Patience and growth. Being able to grow incrementally. Understanding that people will watch your stuff, but they won't like it. They will watch your stuff, but they won't share it. They will watch your stuff, but they won't go to your channel and subscribe. You have to have the patience to keep recording even when people are not watching, even when people are not sharing. Do you have the patience to allow yourself to grow? The reason why I say that is when you're growing, that's when you need to be learning about yourself while you're making content. That's when you find your voice. That's when you just throw stuff at the wall and see if it stick. Me, I'm different. I'm a different kind of dude. For me to say that you have to find a niche, to me, when you're a regular person and you're working every day, life is not a niche. Especially as a man, as a provider, you have to do multiple things. You have to know a lot of things in order to make things happen as a provider, in order to solve problems. It's a certain knowledge that you have to have. And a lot of it is not niche based, especially when you grow up in a place where you don't start out, being like, a family of affluence and stuff like that. You have to gain a lot of knowledge to know some things in order to get stuff done. Patience and growth.
It's cool when they do it. It's a problem when I do it.
People watch you and they'll see you because they're hearing your ideas. They know how you think because of what you're saying. Are you ready to deal with that? Or they'll watch you and they may use some of the stuff that you say because they think you're not in the same arena or listening to what they're saying. You may make a topic about something and somebody else may take that topic and use it or remix it, but they won't give you credit for it. Or they won't say, yeah, I got this from Mr. Mike Flair. He was talking about this, so I wanted to kind of expound on this. You're not going to get that. Patience and growth. Being patient with yourself. Being patient on building your setup because it takes time. being patient with yourself, working to be consistent. There are some people who have that kind of time where they can post every day, but that's not realistic for me right now at this point because I have a lot of things going on. However, I don't knock the person who posts every day. I'm just saying you have to know where you are on that scale of how much can I post? What does my consistency look like? For me to be consistent, what is that going to cost me? Mentally, physically, some people emotionally. Patience and growth. You have to be patient while you're growing. Sometimes you may get 100 views. Sometimes you may get 0 views. I posted stuff on YouTube and it got 0 views. Probably still at 0 views, right? The demographic around you. Some people aren't. They may watch you more on Facebook than they do YouTube or on Instagram. You have to know what to post on different ones. Some platforms, long form content not gonna work because everybody's attention span is different. Some videos you got to make 10 seconds. Some you got to make a minute. Some you got to make 2 minutes. And then just long form, after that. Patience and growth. Most of the time, from what I'm seeing, famous people are the ones, or some kind of celebrity are the ones who get people watch their stuff all the way through. That's just how it is. Not knocking, I'm just telling you the reality. So be prepared for people to just watch it for 3 seconds and then scroll off. Because you don't got the juice yet. That's what I call it. You don't got the juice yet. But when you get the juice, this is why it's important to be patient and grow.
It's cool when they do it. It's a problem when I do it.
Because when you get the juice, if you got the setup already, you're consistent. Now that you got the juice, you can just take off and fly. Because you've learned yourself. You're comfortable being on camera. You don't have an issue recording yourself. You don't have an issue with producing, making it, and editing it. Now all you got to do is just take off and thrive. But you got to grow first. You can't just skip steps. Remember, knowledge, money, power. You can't skip it. You got to have knowledge to get to the money. And then when you have money, you can get to the power. Same way in podcasting, right? Knowledge, setup, producing, learning about yourself, money. You get the subscribers, you get monetized. The power, your voice is impacting, whether good or bad, depending on however you want to do it. Some people like to crash out, cuss people out. Not my deal. I want to spread positivity. I want to challenge people. You can be great, but you have to want it. Success, you have to want that because it's the same stuff over and over again. Challenge people that just like you have to change the oil on your car, sometimes you have to drain out old information and put in new information. Patience and growth. Sometimes the emotions can cloud you from growing, but I'm telling you, growth, patience, and growth. Being patient with yourself. Don't worry about what happened yesterday. Don't worry about what happened in your past. Don't become bitter with that. Patience and growth. Let me stop before I go to a whole nother place. But are you ready to make content? You can do it. If you got a cell phone, you got a lot of the stuff you need right there. All the other stuff if you want to scale up. So I'm going to let people know. Watch this video back if you want to make content. This is on the simplest level, just getting started. Because when you start to scale up, you start to realize that a lot of this other stuff these dudes be having on you, it costs. It's not cheap. Even this, what I'm using, the software that I'm using to StreamYard, that's not free. It costs money. But what it allows you to do is it allows you to stream to multiple places at one time. And this is live. The beauty about live streaming is you don't have to go back and edit unless you want to. I'm not going back editing this because I feel like I did pretty good already. You can do it. Build your confidence up. Don't be afraid to record yourself. Just talk. Learn. Get to your voice. Guess what? Everybody not gonna like it. Some people gonna say your delivery. Like some people say I can be monotone, very boring. Okay, that's fine. Get it. I get it. That's what and eventually they may change. Who knows? The more you do it, the more you start to evolve. But don't be afraid to be yourself. And you got to understand that most time people don't know where you're at in life or what you're doing. They don't know how you got to this point. And you have to realize that while you're growing and being patient, because some people don't share their whole life on here. I know I don't. Some things I'm gonna keep private. Period. You know what I'm saying? It's just what it is. Um, that's just me. But you have to be patient enough to know that you don't share those things. So a lot of people be thinking like, how did he get there? Well, how did you do this? How do you do that? They don't realize what you did to get to that point. So with that being said, you ready to make content? Go back and watch the beginning. Thanks for everybody who's been watching. Thanks for everybody who's been subscribing. Go to the YouTube channel. Like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate everybody who's been rocking with us, watching the podcast, Thinking Game, watching CTM Sports whenever I get a chance to do it. We appreciate it. Like, share, and subscribe. Go to all the platforms, follow us. Let me know in the comments what you want to hear me talk about. We are listening. We are seeing. We just need people to engage. That's all we need. It don't cost nothing to hit the subscribe button. Even on YouTube, 90% of people that watch the videos are not subscribed. If we can just get 40, 60% of people while you're watching, hit that subscribe button. Help us grow so we can reinvest back into CTM and make more content, make better content. With that being said, this is Mike. I'm signing out, and I will catch you on the next one.
That boy is good. Good and terrible.